Christmas is the time for holiday movies. DreamWorks is no slouch to making holiday specials. They tried adapting William Joyce's book series into a mega franchise. Instead, it was a mega flop. What happened? Rise of the Guardians is a 2012 adventure film about a snow guy joining a magic civil war. It follows Jack Frost, a mischievous yet lonely nature spirit with amnesia. One day, he's kidnapped by the Guardians, a group of warriors led by Santa Claus. No, not that Santa Claus. No, this Santa Claus. Yeah, it's easy to mistake. Their sworn enemy, the Boogeyman, plans on conquering the world by Easter Sunday. This sounds a little too crazy, so Jack turns it down, but Santa offers a bargain. If Jack can thwart the invasion, there's a chance the Guardians could recover his long-lost memories. Can our heroes save the world in time? This film is incredible. It has memorable characters, great writing, and amazing art direction. Heck, the visual effects are on a whole other level. The film didn't perform that well during its theatrical run, but it later developed a dedicated following within the DreamWorks fandom. And it's easy to see why. It's December, and you know what that means? It's time to cover a Christmas movie. There will be spoilers. Also, this movie is an adaptation of the book series, The Guardians of Childhood. I never read that, so I'm judging the film as its own thing. Lastly, hit that like button. It helps the channel out. Let's go! The film begins with Jack Frost waking up from his cozy little nap. His first friend is the moon? You gotta remember, this is DreamWorks. A moon god is like a normal Tuesday for them. The boy is like,
dude, why am I a nature spirit? And how come my neighbors can't see me?
The moon proceeds to gaslight him, saying,
sorry, can't hear you, bye!
What a jerk! Jack Frost is a 16-year-old boy who died 300 years ago. He's a little mischievous, but knows how to bring joy to people on the bleakest of days. However, he hasn't had any luck making friends, human or supernatural. None of the children believe in his existence, despite his excellent display of ice bending. Jack tried to ask the guy on the moon for help, yet the man on the moon kept his mouth shut so as to not interfere with Jack's destiny. That's rough, man. Fast forward to the 21st century. The Guardians get intel on Pitch Black's return, where the Guardians are responsible for nice stuff like dreams, happiness, holidays, etc. Pitch is on the opposite spectrum. Pitch Black is a conniving spirit who preys on people's deepest fears. He's the master of nightmare magic. He also has a British accent, so you know he's bad. Pitch isn't the most original villain in history, but DreamWorks gave him considerable depth. It's implied that Pitch was chosen as a nature spirit against his will. The dude had to shoulder people's worst nightmares for God knows how many millennia. He tried to earn humanity's respect, but the Guardians usurped all the attention. Plus, the moon god refused to give him guidance because, well, you never know what a god's thinking, especially when it doesn't talk. But let's assume it didn't want to interfere with Pitch's destiny. In retaliation, Pitch waged war against the Guardians. You got to remember, belief in a nature spirit is the ultimate currency. The more people believe in a legend, the more powerful that spirit becomes. If Pitch somehow persuades humanity to abandon their faith in traditions like Christmas and Easter, then it's game over for the Guardians. While we're at it, I want to highlight the parallels between Pitch and Jack. Both men came from a place of loneliness. Jack never gave up trying to bring joy to others, while Pitch succumbed to his darkest tendencies. There's one point in the movie where Pitch tries to recruit Jack to the dark side. The Boogeyman promises Jack that they can rule the world together and become household names, and get the recognition that they deserve. But Jack refuses to torture innocent souls for eternity. Jack learned to channel his friendship in a positive manner, while Pitch was ironically consumed by his own vanity. Meanwhile, Santa and the Guardians tried to enlist Jack. Jack's like,
no way, bro. You and the moon god have left me in the dark about my role as a holiday spirit. All I got was crickets. Why would I trust you now?
Santa makes a counteroffer. If Jack can help defeat Pitch, there's a chance that the Guardians themselves can unlock Jack's old memories. Jack begins his quest, despite the animosity between him and Hugh Jackman, I mean Bunny.
How is that not offensive?
Jack's interactions with the cast is entertaining to watch. I love how the immature Jack bounces off the veteran Guardians. Santa acts as Jack's mentor, Bunny is a rival who later respects Jack as an equal fighter, and Toothiana opens the vulnerable side to Jack's emotions. Combine that with a great voice acting, you get a really fun dynamic. It further enhances the world building. The writers were able to construct a world that felt bigger than what was actually shown on screen. We get a sense of history in each of the realms. Santa has his elves and Yeti building toys. The Tooth Fairy has tiny birds who manage their own tooth mailing network. Bunny has giant egg golems underground, and he uses a giant tunnel network. There's so much love and care put into all the little details. It's such a shame these weren't properly expanded upon in a sequel. Back to Jack. He's initially skeptical of the group's quirky methods, though they quickly form a strong bond, all in the face of Pitch bringing destruction across the realms. Even with help from his new pals, the gravity of the conflict weighs on Jack's mind. While we're at it, let's go over the other heroes. Santa/North is the leader of the group. He has a Russian accent and loves carrying swords. Next to him is Bunny, a wisecracking animal from Australia. He wields 2 boomerangs and travels via magic tunnels. Okay, I do admit that his design is trying a little too hard to be cool. His design screams Hot Topic merchandise designed by furries, but in reality, he's actually a pretty swell guy. The next member is Sandman, a silent midget who can't talk, but manages the realm of dreams. He's great as the comedic straight man. The last member is Tooth Fairy, a humanoid bird who collects teeth. She's a little too nerdy for her own good. Okay, what am I looking at? The character design leaves me conflicted. The regular human characters look okay, but the magical creatures are really charming, especially the Yeti guys. The Guardians themselves are sleek and modern. DreamWorks might be great at their craft. I mean, you can't top perfection like Megamind, yet I spotted 2 major setbacks. Jack's design just screams default guy option in a lot of role-playing games. Blue hoodie, young Justin Bieber haircut, no shoes, and not much else. It's not bad, but it's way too vanilla for my taste. The Tooth Fairy has the opposite problem. Tooth looks like she belongs in a different movie. She's this human hummingbird hybrid with reptilian-like feathers. She sports a bluish-green hue, pointy hair, and giant wings. In isolation, it's a pretty bold choice. When you place her next to her friends, she looks off-putting. The cast is made up of muted reds, blues, and yellows. Meanwhile, Toothiana rocks her magic fur like a flashy gaming PC. Another issue is her human-to-animal ratio. Sandman, North, Pitch, and Jack are unmistakably human. Bunny is anthropomorphic, but he still resembles a rabbit. The Tooth Fairy is in that uncanny middle ground. She's built like a bird, but her face is that of a regular woman. She gives me that performer inside a stage costume vibe. It's jarring. Tooth would have worked better if she went the bipedal animal approach of Bunny, where her face would still resemble more of a bird than just a woman in a costume, but what do I know? I do commend the filmmakers for going the unconventional routes. In other holiday movies, the Tooth Fairy is usually a dentist with wings. That's so passé. So props to DreamWorks for originality and amazing art direction. This film is gorgeous. It's been out for a decade and it's aged like fine wine, or fine eggnog. You know what I mean. The animation and lighting choices are just simply superb. Like, chef's kiss. I want to give special attention to the visual effects. One of the hardest things to accomplish in animation is particle simulation. It's a technique for creating complex visuals that would be too tedious to animate by hand. When you see smoke emitting from magic spells, that's particle simulation. Jack's ice bending and Sandman's dream magic fall under this category. Particle simulation was a well-known industry technique by 2012, but somehow DreamWorks took it to another level. The magic attacks contain thousands of individual particles. You see complex ice patterns and sand rocks going all over the place. The film loves doing this trim path effect, where the trails fly in all sorts of crazy directions. The sheer complexity of these effects is mind-boggling. It looks so good. Who directed this movie? The director is Peter Ramsey. He was a co-director on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Things begin to make sense. The fluid acrobatics, the insane attention to details, the dynamic framing. I'm glad that people like him are getting the recognition they deserve. Anyway, the Guardians get into some wacky shenanigans. Pitch inflicts heavy damage. In response, the Warriors set up the most explosive egg hunt in history. Jack finds a trail to his memories, but realizes it was a distraction. Too late! The villain sabotages Easter Sunday and drains the global faith supply for the Guardians. Jack gets exiled, but with a little help, soon recovers his memories. Who was he? He was a dirt poor peasant in colonial America. That didn't stop him from spreading levity to his family. Also, you can't tell me he doesn't look like Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon. One day, during the winter, he and his sister were skating on thin ice. She got stuck in a bad spot. She was too scared to move, but Jack was able to calm her down and pull her out of harm's way. His reward? He fell into the frozen lake and took a giant nap. Yuck. Back in the present, Jack learns his true purpose as a guardian, to bring joy to children who desperately need it. He goes from a lonely spirit with a chip on his shoulder to someone who fully embraces a higher responsibility. It isn't the most remarkable arc in existence, yet the filmmakers were able to squeeze so much good drama out of it. Jack gets an epiphany and makes a Hail Mary before Pitch conquers the world. Jack convinces a human boy to believe in his existence. He gets a dopamine rush and launches his last-ditch effort to restore people's faith in Easter. Jack, the Guardians, and Pitch Black engage in an all-out brawl. Pitch not only loses the battle, but people's belief in his nightmarish existence. He doesn't technically die, but his magic horsemen drag him to the gutter. Ouch. Jack earns his official title as a Guardian. The movie ends with him saying goodbye to his new human friends, stating he'll always be there to inspire hope. Damn, that was a good film. I can't wait for the sequel. Oh, yeah, about that. You can point to many factors in Guardian's commercial failure. It came out a few weeks after Skyfall and Twilight 4 Part 2. Both of those titles were highly anticipated sequels to already popular franchises. Guardians was based on a book series that never had mass appeal, yet that doesn't explain the whole picture. I believe the answer partially lies in Guardians' marketing. For one, the name itself is rather weak. The Rise of the Guardians. Where are they rising from? Why does it sound so generic? It poorly communicates the film's whimsical tone. What if you heard that name without seeing any clips? You probably think it was a product at the clearance bin. Compare that to Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda. It's about a panda who learns martial arts. The name is simple, eye-catching, and tells you exactly what the film is. And guess what? They're making a fourth Kung Fu Panda movie. DreamWorks has chosen some pretty great marketing names. If we're being honest, then the real title should be Jack Frost and the Guardians. It's an ensemble piece with Jack Frost as the central lead. It's not the best alternative, but it better encapsulates that fun holiday adventure vibe. The last issue is the marketing itself. The adverts heavily emphasize Guardians as a Christmas-adjacent movie. While the Santa mythos is front and center, the film doesn't focus that much on the history of Christmas, or where it came from, or how it developed in America. No, it's not interested in that. In reality, it's an Easter movie. The story takes place during Easter. The egg hunt is a core plot point. However, the season of Christmas has more cultural cachet than Easter, at least here in the United States. So you can see why DreamWorks leaned on that Christmas angle. It wasn't false advertising per se, but I can imagine some parents feeling bamboozled. So, how does this impact the film's legacy? The Rise of the Guardians may not be the trailblazer that DreamWorks wanted it to be, but it holds up as a great piece of art. The film was released at the wrong place at the wrong time. Even the DVD sales weren't enough to generate a sequel. But, for those who did see it, they got a solid story, amazing art direction, and charming characters. And it holds a special place in my heart. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a lovely holiday. Remember, no magical creatures were harmed in the making of this video.